This is the standard format you use to download any file, right? But if you can use HTTP protocol, you can also use FTP protocol, right? You can just mirror the whole directory which is located for anonymous user using this command. Paste it and hit enter. And it magically downloads all the files, okay? And if you just cd to that directory, you can find a list of files, okay? So how cool is that? Hey amazing hackers, I'm TORHAT from HM Cyber Academy. Today we'll be looking at Crocodile box from tier 1 of starting point. In this you'll be looking at some protocols like FTP, HTTP, which is Apache, and some basic reconnaissance, website directory discovery, and clear text credentials, and anonymous access. Alright, let's get started. So to get started, you need to connect to your VPN, which I have already done it with sudo openvpn starting point VPN, and spawn this machine, and this is the IP address. With this IP address, we start an nmap scan, nmap, IP address, and simple scripts, which will run some default scripts, which I will show you, and the service version, and we'll just speed up the process by using T4. And we'll just use some verbosity to see the output before it gives the final output, and we'll run it in all ports, and we'll say only run other scans on open ports. Okay, so open ports, which means it will scan for the port, and if it is open, only then it will perform all the scripts and all the service versions. All right, so just after I hit enter, I can see that 2 of the ports are already open. So port 21 and port 80. Let's go back to the tasks. What nmap scanning switch employs the use of default scripts during the scan? Okay, so I'll just tell you about the default scripts and total scripts as well. Okay, so if you just Google that nmap default scripts, you will get to this link. And if you want to list of all the scripts, then you have to go to this scripts URL. When you run -sc, it will run default scripts which are listed in the default category, and if you want to run other scripts, you can check out this page. Okay, it has complete list of all the NSC scripts. So the switch is -sc. Okay, what service version is found to be running on port 21? So it is the service version, not the service. Okay, usually the port 21 runs FTP. So we'll just Google that as well, and we find a list of all TCP ports and UDP ports which are default. Okay, and if you just scroll down here, you can see that 21 is run by FTP protocol. But what service is running there? So let's go to nmap scan. Okay, the nmap scan is done, and here if you see the results, the port 21 has the service version as VSFTPD 303, right? So this is the version, and this is the service that is running. Okay, so service version is this one. What FTP code is returned to us for anonymous FTP login allowed? And here you can see FTP anon, anonymous FTP login allowed, and FTP code is 230. Okay, so it is 230. You can also check it by logging in. Okay, so let's see, FTP and anonymous at, and as you can see, I logged in as anonymous, and the FTP anonymous login allowed code is 230. Okay, after connecting to FTP server using the FTP client, what username do we provide when prompted to log in anonymously? Okay, so what did we use? The username was anonymous, right? So this is the one we use to log in. After connecting to FTP server anonymously, what command can we use to download the files we find on FTP server? So the remote system is Unix, right? So we can use Unix commands like ls, which would return all the list of these files. If you want to download this file, you can just use get command, which is listed in help, okay, right here. So this get command will download these files which are mentioned to the local directory, which is this one, okay. So to download that, you can use get allowed list, and if you hit enter, you can download this file, okay. There's a problem with this kind of approach. What if we have 10 files? So we have to do it individually, right? So we don't want to do that individually for each file. We want to download the whole directory at once, right? So how do we do that? So we'll just remove this. To download this, we'll use wget command, okay. So wget command, if you just type --help, you can see -m flag, okay. So this -m will mirror means it will just download the whole directory, okay. So to mention this, we just have to say wget -m ftp anonymous and then the IP address, okay. And before this, I just want to tell you that if you want to download a website or a file, what do? You just type http:// and then URL and then file.txt or something like that, right? This is the standard format you use to download any file, right? But if you can use HTTP protocol, you can also use FTP protocol, right? You can just mirror the whole directory which is located for anonymous user using this command, okay. So I'll just copy this, Control C, paste it and hit enter, and it magically downloads all the files, okay. If you just hit ls, you can see a directory, and if you just cd to that directory, you can find a list of files, okay. So how cool is that? Now you don't have to download each file. Let's go back to the box. The download command is get, okay. You can also use wget, but I'm currently using get because they're asking after you log in, okay. What is one of the higher privilege sounding usernames in allowed.userList file that we downloaded from the FTP server, okay. So we'll just cat this file, and as you can see, all these other names seem like general, but this one is administrator or admin, right? Higher privilege sounding username is admin. What version of Apache HTTP server is running on the target host? So this is why you need to store the nmap result, okay. So you don't have to go scroll up to the top and then find the nmap result. So here's the nmap result, and this is the service version, and you can just copy the whole thing, or you can just copy till here, paste it, submit. Before we continue with this task, I'll just tell you some neat trick, okay. So if you want to list this one and this one individually, you can do that. But if you want to just list them side by side, because the password for the first one can be this one, the password for the second one can be this one. So in order to list them side by side, you can use couple of tricks. First one is diff, and you have to use -y and allowed.list and allowed.list.password. This seems a little bit far away, right? So if you want to list them close to each other, you can use PR command, okay. So PR command along with the -m and -t will list the contents of the file just a little bit closer to each other, right? This is much more readable than this one, right? So let's go back. What switch can we use with GoBuster to specify we are looking for a specific file types? So you can actually do that from the Google, just to show you that there is a hidden list of switches, okay. So when you type GoBuster with help, you will not see which file type to use anywhere around here. So help is built in, right? So GoBuster help will output top level help. GoBuster help with a specific mode, it will just output help specific to that mode, okay. So there are different modes, right? DNS mode, dir mode, and every other mode. You just scroll up, you can see that available modes are these, okay. If you type GoBuster, help, and dir, you can see a list of switches or flags you can use with dir, okay. So if you want to use only file types of certain types, you can use this particular flag or switch, okay. So the answer is -x. And which PHP file? So they are saying that there is a PHP file, right? So if you are just using GoBuster, you can just use PHP file types. Okay, which PHP file can we identify with the directory brute force that will provide the opportunity to authenticate to a web service? So which will give an opportunity to authenticate with the web service? Usually login pages, right? So we'll just use GoBuster with dir followed by a word list of, let's say, user share word list, or sec list. I have actually downloaded this sec list from GitHub. So if you don't have it, download it using git clone sec list. Okay, so sec list, just to let you know, so this is the one. I just downloaded it from here. Okay, so you just git clone this URL. So I'm just currently using this discovery tab, which is listed in sec list. Okay, discovery, web content, directory, list 2.3 medium. So I can actually show you right here. So discovery, web content, directory list 2.3 medium. Okay, so most of the time you can simply use directory list 2.3 medium. So I'm just using this and followed by the URL, which is HTTP, because port 80 is running HTTP, right? So HTTP followed by URL, which is right here, and we can hit enter and it will continue. Okay, so here you can see that there are threads of 10. It is using this word list. Negative status code is 404, which means it will not allow 404 to list over here. We haven't mentioned any file types to speed this up, right? So what we can do is we'll just exit out of here and mention file types PHP, and to speed up we can just use threads of 20. Here you can see threads has become 20 and extensions is PHP, right? So now we can see that we got a login.php which returns a 200 OK response. Okay, so I'm just closing this scan as of now and take this login.php, copy, go to the web browser. If you just type IP address along with this login.php, you get this login page. Okay, so we don't know username and password. Let's just use random username and password. It says incorrect information. Okay, it's not revealing any username or any password. Okay, so let's try admin with some random password. It just gives the same thing. Okay, but we know that we got a list of users and we got a list of passwords, and as you can see, this is the user and this is the password. And let's try to use admin because admin has more privileges. Let's use admin and password. Okay, so you can try other things. Most probably these won't log in. So let's go back and hit sign in. So as you can see, we just logged in and we got our flag also. And which file is it? It is login.php, right? So submit. So it gave us an opportunity to authenticate to a web service. So the flag is this one. Control C, Control V, and it's done. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.